welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda and I am currently living in Germany. In this vlog you are going to see me move from one apartment to another. So the apartment that you are seeing in these clips here, I spent about a month living in while I was transitioning here in the city. And I am now living in a new apartment which I will be spending the rest of my time in while I am here living in Germany. So this is the process that I went through of moving apartments, and let me tell you, boy was this a workout. I had to make a couple of different trips with all of my stuff because I do not have a car here and I had to utilize some public transportation, which is a good workout, fun time. 10 out of 10, would not recommend, but it is what it is, we do what we gotta do. I share this apartment with one other person, but there is quite a bit of space and I'm excited to make this my new home. And honestly, I'm really excited about the location as well. This is such a beautiful city and I enjoyed the place that I lived in for the first month, but I like the new apartment now because the location is prime. Alright, I want to talk a little bit about culture shock because I have been living in Germany for a little bit over a month now. And as you saw in some of the previous clips, I moved to a new apartment. And with moving to a new space, there's obviously like an adjustment period that goes on of you getting used to being in a new place and really making somewhere your home. Culture shock is something that I want to talk about because, you know, in general with moving to Germany, I had already kind of prepared myself for some of the similarities and differences between the United States and Germany and just culture in general, or cultural differences in general. I lived in Austria for 4 months when I was in college and I went through a little bit of culture shock there as well, but I knew it was going to be a little bit different this time because I was going to be living here for a lot longer. And I was going to be living with somebody that I didn't know and in a place that I wasn't familiar with. When I lived in Austria, I was living with other Americans and people who spoke fluent English, and like I said, like not only were they other Americans, but they were people from my college. I didn't know them beforehand, but simply just having like people who come from the same experience as me was really nice with helping me like adjust to a lot of the differences. With the program that I'm on, they had like an orientation week for us where we had different Zoom calls and things like that that we had to attend that went over things like finances and our guidelines and medical insurance and just all the logistical stuff. But they also had a meeting for us that went over what to do like when you experience culture shock. It's not if, you will. Unless you've been living in Germany for an extended period of time, like moving to a new country, you experience culture shock to a certain degree. And they had this mental health call where they talked about culture shock and kind of the symptoms of it and when you could notice yourself going through the different stages of it. Because when you first arrive, you kind of have this like high of emotions because you're so excited and all of that. And then you kind of dip down into a low of, oh my gosh, was this the right decision for me? Or, you know, kind of almost a depression for a little bit. And not to say that I experienced that per se, but I definitely, I'm walking downstairs here, I definitely noticed that I started to kind of isolate myself a little bit and keep to myself a lot, which I'm a very independent person and I'm also very introverted, so that's kind of normal for me. But I just noticed in kind of the way that I was thinking and the way that I was perceiving different things around me that I could tell I was kind of going into an isolation stage for me personally. And that's definitely normal and something that I needed to kind of take time for myself to readjust my perspective and also kind of take a step back from everything, because not only is it mentally difficult moving to a new country, but when you're kind of thinking and speaking and switching back and forth between languages, it can also be really hard too. And it definitely takes a toll on you mentally, physically, emotionally. And there were some other symptoms that they talked about in this orientation meeting. I'll just put them up here on the screen so you can see them, of just some of the symptoms that they told us to kind of look out for in our first few weeks and months of being here. And simply by having somebody like put a name to it and a list of symptoms for me to look out for, like when I was able to identify those things happening for me personally, and like I said, putting a name to it, it was really helpful for me to kind of like accept that that was what was going on and that was what I was experiencing, and it helped me feel like not alone. When you go into like isolation periods, or if you're an introverted person and you like being by yourself, sometimes there's a fine line between like enjoying being on your own and then also feeling lonely and like you truly are alone. And so having that to kind of remind myself of like, okay, you may be feeling kind of alone right now, but that's normal. The things you are experiencing are normal, and you come through it. You really do. And I did. I'm back out here hiking. Woof, we get a beautiful view. I had been to this part of the city before, so it was nice to put myself back in like a familiar place. And also, I guess, just like being somewhere familiar, also being outdoors amongst the trees and the nature is really grounding for me. And like when you're a young adult, learning how to take care of yourself is like kind of should be your number one priority, because you've gone so many years of your life with other people taking care of you, and so when you are on your own, you really kind of learn about yourself in a lot of ways, but also you learn about your needs and what you need to survive and live a happy and healthy life. And so for me, these last couple of weeks, after experiencing a little bit of culture shock, I really took some time to prioritize my self-care and making sure that I am taking care of myself and making sure that I'm eating enough and eating consistent meals, making sure that I am getting enough sleep and going to sleep at a reasonable time, which a reasonable time for me is a little bit different than other people. And now we can get back to exploring and traveling and all the fun stuff that comes with me moving here to Germany. So get excited, because I am. Hello. So it has been about 1 month of living in my new apartment, and I kind of wanted to just kind of give an update of how I've been doing, because I will be here until the end of June of next year. I also had some stuff on my mind that I wanted to talk about, and I felt called to talk about it, but also I felt that it was really important to bring up in this vlog. So just kind of first overall update of it being about a month living here. I really enjoy this space, and the location in town I really enjoy as well. It's a lot closer to my school, but also a lot closer to just like a centralized location within the city, and so that has been really nice. And I have a balcony here as well, and so watching the sunset there, beautiful. There are some trees in the back, so I don't necessarily get to see the actual sun set, but seeing the colors in the sky and seeing the trees with the leaves changing colors, it's been beautiful. It's a very peaceful part of town. I also wanted to talk about something that's been on my mind for the last couple of days, because I just returned from a trip to Stuttgart, as well as another smaller city here in Germany, to celebrate Halloween. And the next couple of vlogs that I will be posting are going to be clips from some travels that I've went on. In the last couple of weeks, I went to Munich on a little bit of a day trip to the Vincent van Gogh art exhibition, as well as visiting a friend of mine in Konstanz, Germany, and then of course my adventures from this past weekend as well. And I think that it's really important for me to include this clip here before I upload those videos, because something that has been on my mind a lot recently, and in talking with my friend that I visited in Konstanz, she's been feeling kind of the same way as well. When I was originally talking about moving to Germany, but specifically more so when it was actually more of a real thing and I was planning for it and packing, talking about it with my family and friends at home, a lot of people expressed to me that they were happy for me, of course, but they were very jealous of the fact that I was going to be living in Europe and having the opportunity to travel to different parts of Europe, even if it was just different parts of Germany. I'm very grateful to have this opportunity. I truly am, and I know how much of a blessing, how much of a privilege it is for me to be here and to have this opportunity for where I'm at in life right now. But when I originally was hearing people express their jealousy or their envy for my situation, I kind of just brushed it off because that's kind of them just projecting their own beliefs and opinions on it, and I know that that's something that they're feeling. It's not necessarily something relating to what I'm doing or how I am expressing myself. Coming from the United States, I know that a lot of people have the perspective of, oh my gosh, Europe is this, like, not necessarily magical place, but they talk about it as if it is a magical place where people get to travel the world and see cool things. And like, don't get me wrong, Europe is very cool and there are a lot of magical aspects to it, and I have been able to see some beautiful things and experience and create some amazing memories here. But you can do that anywhere in the world. I still struggle. The past couple of days, even though I was on a trip traveling, they were still hard days. And, I experience a lot of anxiety, especially when I'm traveling, related to like my eye disorder. But I experience anxiety very regularly, just on a daily basis. And it's something that I have had to learn how to cope with and learn how to move through. And I've definitely gotten better at it, but that doesn't mean that it's not hard and that I don't have hard days. That I'm just still living my life, like day to day. Like, I'm still facing the same struggles and the same anxieties that I would face if I were living in the United States. Like, I would still be struggling. There might be different struggles, sure, of course, definitely. The United States is a very different place than Germany, and the struggles that people face in the United States are very different than the struggles that people face here in Germany. But that doesn't make them any less of a struggle. That doesn't make it any less difficult to go on each day. I feel that within my soul. I know that this opportunity and me being here is what I needed, and it feels right in terms of what I want for myself and what I want for my life. And I'm very I'm very happy and proud of the person that I'm becoming, but it's still hard. It's still difficult, and there are still things that I struggle with each day. It can also be really frustrating when you are alone in a foreign country. I have a roommate. There are people that I work with at school that I've been getting closer with, but I still feel alone. So I get my energy from being by myself, and I enjoy solitude, and I enjoy my own company. I truly do. But sometimes when you are missing your friends or your family or whoever, or just missing a sense of familiarity, it can also be really difficult, because there are people here that I can go to if I really need to, but they're very much so surface level relationships, and these people don't know me the way that my friends know me. And I consider my friends to be my family. Like, my closest friends is not a good enough word to describe our relationship. And to not have like easy access to calling them, texting them, with the time difference, but also just like being in proximity with them. I am someone who will travel as far as I need to if it means that I get to see a friend. And so if distance is the only thing separating me, I will make it happen. But the thing is I can't afford to just fly back to the United States, come on back here real quick, fly back there, fly over here. Like, it doesn't work that way. And so there are different things separating us right now, and that's totally okay. On these days when I'm feeling frustrated and I'm feeling upset, or I'm feeling really confused, or whatever I may be feeling, like if I'm feeling something that's a little bit more of a difficult emotion to experience, I know that I need to allow myself to feel that and to move through it, but that doesn't make it any less difficult. And simply acknowledging the challenges that we face doesn't make it any easier to face them. And like I said, I really wanted to put this clip here in this moving vlog because, you know, with moving to a new apartment and readjusting and kind of getting back into a routine, this has been 2 months now of living here in Germany, and I've been enjoying my time, of course, but that doesn't mean that I don't face my struggles. And so before I uploaded the next 2 vlogs of me traveling to different cities and seeing some really cool things, like, I wanted to make it very clear that you may see the beauty in the vlogs that I post, and you may see the beauty in the posts that I have on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or wherever it is. Like, if you see those pictures, it's really hard sometimes to not get lost in the beauty of what we see, in the beauty of it all. It's days like this that make it all worth it, because seeing those beautiful views and going to those beautiful places, yes, it's all great and it's cool, but what makes it worth it are these days right here for me, when I have to just cry it out and let my body express its healing and allow myself to feel those difficult emotions. And this is what makes it worth it. Seeing all of those beautiful places, making those amazing memories, make it worth it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like I said, I've got 2 new vlogs coming out in a little bit with some cool adventures that I've been on. And stay tuned in the future, because every day is a new adventure for me. And I hope you have a great day.